Lisa stated Duplessis. I hope that you all have an incredible evening, and I'm sorry that I could not be there in person to share my message with you. I'm going to share a little about my son's life and thank SANBS and all of you being honoured in this room today for playing such a vital role in the raising of awareness and the collection of blood and blood products. It's not often we get the chance to thank silent heroes like yourselves. I am many things. I am a realtor and I'm a wife, but my most important job is simply being Jordan's mom. If you will bear with me for 5 minutes or so whilst I read my speech, I will tell you a story so that you can understand the gratitude that I have for every single person in this room today. From Jordan's birth until he was 3, I instinctively knew that there was something really wrong with my son. He had a confirmed heart defect, failure to thrive, hated eating, battled to gain weight, and battled to sleep. Definitely not a baby that followed the rules or went by the book. We went from doctor to doctor and had every test imaginable, yet nothing was seemingly wrong with my son, aside from his diagnosed heart defect. Finally, after 3 long years of doctor's visits, and the test after test after test, one doctor had the guts to tell me this. Lisa, you are too stressed out and you are making your son sick. Well, naturally, no one wants to hear this. And I was totally gutted. However, at this very low ebb, when I thought my world could not shatter anymore, I came home from work and Jordan had a surprise for me that would change the course of our lives forever. Picture this. You arrive home and your child vomits 400 ml of blood at your feet. Well, welcome to my world. That is exactly what Jordan did. Imagine racing down the N2 with your lifeless child in your arms, a hemoglobin level of 3 instead of 12, and praying for a solution to 3 years of hell, not knowing what was wrong with your child, but knowing without a doubt that something was really, really wrong. Imagine knowing that finally you were about to learn your child's fate. Get your thoughts around being told by the doctors that if your tiny child survived this traumatic night, he would bleed again and again. If he was lucky enough to survive the 9 bleeds, the 10th one would kill him. Imagine being told your 3-year-old would be lucky if he reached 4, and imagine being told, I'm sorry, there is nothing more we can do in surgery. Please come and sit with your son while he slips away from this life. Well, imagine I have lived through all of that and a few extra dramas along the way. It was on this terrifying night that I discovered, yay, I was not crazy. I was not making my son ill. I wasn't a bad mom. Yet as relieved as I was, I had to face the fact that my son had a life-threatening disease, and in my wildest dreams, I could not imagine this happening to me. Jordan was diagnosed with a rare disorder called portal hypertension with esophageal varices, a form of Alagille syndrome. In short, he had a blockage in his portal vein. What happens is that the blood flows down the portal vein towards the liver, encounters the blockage, and shoots back up the portal vein. The natural path is for it to settle on the esophagus. Because the esophagus is so stretchy, small varicose veins start to form, and over time they become engorged with blood. These are referred to as varix. These, after consistently filling with blood, are agitated by the acid produced by the gallbladder, and they would burst. The blood would accumulate in the tummy and would exit in one of 2 ways, either via the bowel, and this is known as the Merlina stool, or raw red blood in the form of vomit. Oh, daunting days, and I've experienced both many times. So on this night, amidst the chaos of a child vomiting blood, racing to hospital quickly yet carefully as instructed by the pediatrician, and sitting vigil outside the theatre whilst they investigated what was wrong with Jordan, and then being told he would not survive the night, I somehow found the courage to tell those doctors it was not good enough to stand there and tell me my son was going to die. Not today, not any day. I would not and I did not accept it, and they had to go back into surgery and try again to give Jordan one last chance at life. I guess I begged them to save my son's life, and to tell you the truth, I would do it again in a heartbeat. And instinctively I knew that if he survived, I would be in for the ride of my life. I would have to be 100% supportive, 100% committed to doing this hospital stint over and over again. Nothing else would matter. We were at the foot of a very steep mountain and there was no peak in sight. And if he survived, he would need a huge amount of support through this nightmare of a roller coaster he was taking me on. But hey, I am his mom, and that is my job. And those fantastic doctors, they went back into surgery and they saved his life. But they didn't do it alone. At the crux of this night, Jordan had in excess of 20 units of blood whilst they banded and shrunk the column of varix in his esophagus that nearly killed him. In the 9 years since, he has had a further 280 units of blood, 5 surgeries and an estimated 200 bleeds. Imagine that. The 10th bleed didn't kill him after all, but then again, nor did the 180 that followed. And it's thanks to those 300 odd units of blood that I am here in front of you today and say without a shadow of a doubt that my son had brilliant surgeons, fantastic doctors, but he would not be alive today without the life-giving substance of blood. I will tell you also that my son has not been a joy to raise on a daily basis. It has been an emotional roller coaster every day, sometimes not knowing if he would be alive when I went to wake him in the morning. This has taught me so many things. It has taught me patience, and it has been humbling in so many ways. It has taught me that a strong mind far outweighs a weak body, and sadly it has also led me to a great fondness for wine. But for the hard times, there are the rewards. How I have marvelled at my son's incredible will to live, his determination to clear hurdle after devastating hurdle of the syndrome. I watch with pride his amazing academic achievements, his zest for life and his wicked sense of humour, even though what must amount to an incredible amount of pain and suffering. I watch as he tries to keep up with children more able than himself, pushing himself to the limits, living and enjoying life as he knows it. And I'm very proud to be his mom, and I love him with every fibre of my being. I am eternally grateful that there are so many willing blood donors in our community, without whom Jordan would not be alive today. And finally, I can say that the worst is almost over. We are starting to see the peak of that very substantial mountain. Jordan, however, still has a few issues to sort out. He is partially deaf due to the pressure on his body having perforated his eardrums, and he has to wear hearing aids for now. This we can also luckily fix at 16. This will be the last surgery required as far as we know. He has been labelled disabled, which has been harder for me to accept than for him. He will require 3 years of extensive dental work to stretch and rectify his small mandible, fix his bunny teeth, and rectify his high palate and speech impediments. We are currently in phase 1 of this procedure, having had 4 teeth extracted in February, and his plates were fitted in April. When we repair his hearing, a maxillofacial surgeon will also move his lower jaw into alignment with his top jaw. He is painfully thin as he battles to eat because of his condition and the 18 various medications that he takes daily to keep his bowels moving, his pressures down, help him sleep, slow his heart rate and to make him eat. He has a number of ulcers in his tummy and bowel from the medication, and they cause him to leak blood from the bowel from time to time, and we are currently trying to figure out how to rectify this. Whilst we do, he requires blood transfusions now and then. In February 2013, we got the good news that at last, after 12 long years, Jordan would be able to have the long-awaited surgery to fix his heart. We had successful open-heart surgery at Christian Barnard Memorial Hospital in Cape Town on the 28th of March 2013. Jordan has returned to school on May the 13th of this year, healthier, happier and thriving. I'm also very proud to tell you that Jordan has an IQ of 148. He is gifted and he is clever, and when he just stops during his daily activities and says, "I love you, Mom," I know it has all been worth it. The pain, the tears and the heartache. The road has been a little more than rough on Jordan and on us as a family, financially and emotionally, but he is here today because so many people go and give so selflessly of themselves to help people like Jordan. And in giving to Jordan, they are also giving to me. They are enabling me to reach for a dream of my own, the dream of parenthood, the dream of a fulfilled life for my son Jordan. Thank you to all of you and the donors for donating blood constantly to save others. You are truly heroes to me and my husband and to my son, and to countless other members of our society who require transfusions and blood products for so many reasons. You have given me the greatest gift, the gift of the life of Jordan. Thank you to SANBS for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today, and especially thank you to everyone in this room today for taking the time to do what you guys do in playing your part to raise awareness for blood and blood donation. This is an organization very close to my heart. Before I leave you, I would like to leave you with a quote by Robert M. Hansel, which summarizes Jordan's life in 4 simple lines. And it goes like this: placing one foot in front of the other, I have climbed to higher lengths, reaching beyond my own limitations to show my inner strength. No obstacle too hard for this warrior to overcome. I am just a man on a mission to show my disability has not won. Thank you and enjoy your evening. Jordan would like to say something.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Thank you for the gift of life.